What is up, my Pika crew? This is the ThePikaWu, and welcome to a 5th generation Wi-Fi battle. This one is going to be against a guy called TurkDude999, and this is going to be a RU tier match. Be sure to check him out after the battle. A channel link will be in the description below, so if you enjoy his content, be sure to support him and subscribe. So let's just look at the team preview for a little bit. He has 6 very dangerous Pokemon. 5 of them are going to be offensive threats, and 1 of them is going to be a defensive wall in the shape of Dusknoir, which is most likely physically defensive and not specially defensive, because most Dusknoirs are physically defensive in the current RU metagame. He has 3 fighting type threats that are extremely dangerous: Medicham, Gallade, and Emboar, so it's very important for me to conserve my Spiritomb for as long as possible because it walls all 3 of those Pokemon to a pretty good degree. He also can potentially wield the Choice Scarf on all of those 3 fighting type Pokemon, and that can outspeed my team because I have a relatively slow team with my fastest Pokemon being Sceptile. He also has Escavalier, which has very good bulk, paired up with a very high attack, and can demolish my team with Iron Head and Megahorn combination. And he also has a Crawdaunt, which is very dangerous when it sets up, especially after +2, because if he sets up +1, that's not a big deal because my Sceptile can still outspeed. Now looking at my team, I have a pretty defensive / offensive team, mostly offensive though. I have Druddigon, which is physically defensive. It carries the Stealth Rocks and can phase with the Dragon Tail. It also carries Glare to slow down the opponent's Pokemon, which is extremely helpful since my team's relatively slow. Omastar is physically defensive that carries 3 moves: Ice Beam, Hidden Power Grass, and Scald with the spikes. I have Spiritomb, which is going to be physically defensive, that sets up the Calm Minds and can set up and sweep if it walls the opponent's team. I have a Slowking, which is Choice Specs and can outspeed the Escavalier because I actually put enough speed EVs. And I have Nidoqueen, which is going to be Timid Nature with Life Orb, and Sceptile, which is going to be Life Orb as well. So this is going to be a very close battle, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm going to lead off with a Choice Specs Slowking, while my opponent's going to lead off with a Medicham. This isn't a great matchup for me at all because although I can live at least 1 Thunder Punch, even coming from a Choice Banded Medicham set, I don't want to take the hit. I want to maintain maximum livability with Slowking and conserve my health because it's a big threat and can punish my opponent's entire team with Surf. So that's why I bring in my Nidoqueen to take the predicted Thunder Punch. Even if he went for the Psycho Cut there, that would have been bad, but that would have showed me he is an extremely aggressive player, and I can manage my opponent's team even with Nidoqueen out of the picture. Here I bring in Spiritomb as he brings in the Gallade, and that's a really great matchup because I wall him, since I'm immune to both his fighting and psychic stabs, and I can go for the Will-O-Wisp on the switch. I'm completely aware that he does have the Emboar, and I knew he's probably going to bring it in there because the Will-O-Wisp was just completely obvious. But this is actually a good thing because now that I lured the Emboar in, I can scout what kind of set he is to see what kind of set, if he's banded or whatever. It turns out this damage is not banded since the Earthquake didn't do much and he doesn't have Life Orb. So he might be Choice Scarfed, which is pretty scary because Choice Scarf Emboar can outspeed the fastest Pokemon on my team because Jolly Scarf Emboar outspeeds Sceptile. Now I'm going to go for the Glare to try to slow down that Emboar or anything else he wants to bring in. He actually brings in the Medicham and I hit the Glare on the second try, which is fine because the Psycho Cut isn't really doing much damage, and the fact that he continuously goes for the Psycho Cut, that shows me that he is a Choice Scarf set. And now that I got my Stealth Rocks up, this is a really good position because he's paralyzed and locked into a Psychic type move. I can take advantage of this and bring in Slowking, and I'm going to start wrecking havoc all over his team with Surf because I can take him out in 1 hit with Surf. If he switches out, that's going to get demolished. He does have 1 resist. A 1 water resist, which is Crawdaunt, that has abysmal defenses. Turns out he brings in this Dusknoir, which is fine. That's going to get demolished. Check how much damage this does. Boom, Surf does like 80% after Stealth Rocks. Easy to hit KO, I can outspeed, and he's going to die. I was initially worried that he might carry the Sucker Punch because I don't want to take any X6 damage, although I can take the hit. Turns out he doesn't even have Sucker Punch, so that's even better. Now he brings in the Escavalier, which is fine. With Stealth Rocks in play, I do have a chance of taking him down, and I do have enough EVs to outspeed Escavalier with 4 EVs of speed. But I don't want to take that risk, so I'm going to fodder off Druddigon because it's already done its job and it's already low at health, and I can get some nice Rough Skin Recoil, so I can start revenge killing with either Nidoqueen or Slowking. I'm going to actually bring in Nidoqueen here, go for the Earth Power, and this is going to do a lot of damage. turns out it's not going to quite take him down because I'm timid nature and not modest nature, so I carry speed over that extra power that Nidoqueen desperately needs, since Nidoqueen doesn't really have the highest special attack stat. But I do take him out after he goes for 1 Iron Head, which does only around half, so that's not too big of a deal. He brings in the Crawdon here, which is a kind of confusing play. Maybe he thought I was locked into Earth Power, since that Earth Power didn't do much damage. He thought I was Choice Scarfed and not Life Orbed. But no, I'm Life Orbed with Timid Nature, so maybe he thought he can live in Earth Power and go for the Waterfall, but that was a pretty bad play. He's gonna die, and now he's gonna bring in the Gallade, and here, I don't know what he's gonna do. He might be sub-bulk up, because I see a lot of sub-bulk up Gallades in the current RU metagame, so I stayed in and went for the Earth Power if he wanted to predict my switch and go for the Substitute. Turns out he goes for the Psycho Cut, and I don't see leftovers, and I don't see any other item like Life Orb, so I'm thinking he might be Banded or Scarfed, so locked into Psycho Cut. Turns out he's not. He goes for the Night Slash, which I can usually live because it's only 70 base power, which is 140 base power after super effective damage, and he does get a critical hit, so that's going to take down a really important member on my team, which is Slowking, and that's really unfortunate. But now that I know pretty much his entire moveset, I can bring in my Spiritomb and wall him, and then double switch into Omastar, predicting the Emboar, and force the Emboar to go for the superpower because I can live the hit since I'm physically defensive and take him down with a Scald. Bordiazzi brings in the Medicham, which is fine as well because he's going to get recoil from the high jump kick. Now he's going to bring in the Emboar here. I should have just went for the double switch again right back into Omastar, because I knew he wasn't going to stay in and just kill himself with the high jump kick miss. So that was a kind of a misplay. I stayed in and went for the Calm Mind, which is okay, I guess. Here, I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse and just deal some damage. And that's going to be good because getting any amount of damage on Emboar is going to be important for later on. And this Flare Blitz surprisingly does a lot of damage. Even though he's not banded, that might be a 2-hit KO against my Spiritomb anyways. So I don't want to take that hit. I'm still thinking he might be Scarfed. So that's why I bring in Omastar. He predicts that, so he's Expert Belt and goes for the Earthquake. And that is very bad because he can now take me out with a superpower. So originally my plan was to double switch into Omastar, take a superpower and take him down. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. My Omastar's dead, and now I really don't know what to do. But because he went for the superpower instead of the Earthquake, he's at -1 attack, so I can at least go into Spiritomb, and I know I can for sure take at least 1 Flare Blitz and rest off the damage and get a lot of recoil off onto this Emboar. So yeah, I went for the Dark Pulse there just to deal some damage. He actually goes for the Wild Charge, which is even better because now I can actually go for the rest and heal up. And now, because I'm at high amount of health, he's pretty much forced to either switch or continually go for recoil-inducing moves, and this is good. Because I believe I only have 2 Pokemon left, Spiritomb and that Sceptile, and I need all of his Pokemon to be low at health. I need this Gallade to be low at health so I can take him down with Sceptile, and because I know he's not Choice Scarfed in any of those 3 Pokemon he has left, well, he may have that Choice Scarf Medicham, but it's paralyzed, but my point is, Sceptile can outspeed my opponent's team, and I need to get damage on this Gallade. So that's why I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here, just to get some damage. That does like around 30%, which is nice. And Night Slash isn't doing too much, so he goes for the Night Slash here. I can at least get 1 more Dark Pulse off, and that's going to be enough so that my Sceptile can Revenge Kill. And yeah, he's going to go for the Psycho Cut here, which is kind of weird. I really don't know why. Maybe he was predicting my rest, but he should have just went for the Swords Dance there. He was predicting my rest. But here he goes ahead and continues to try to take me out. And it's lucky that he doesn't carry any priority on this Gallade. If he carried Swords Dance and Shadow Sneak, he could have potentially set up and went for the Shadow Sneak and killed my Sceptile. But because he doesn't carry Shadow Sneak, this is extremely good, because I believe he has 2 Pokemon left, and both of them are slower than Sceptile, and Sceptile can outspeed and take down both of them with the Giga Drain. So that's going to be the match. Sceptile just cleaning up. What a beast. I really love Sceptile in RU. Extremely dangerous Pokemon. And yeah, so this is going to be the ThePikaWu. Thank you for watching my battle. Stay tuned for the comment question of the day, and peace out, guys. And Sceptile, total beast. Peace.
Pika!